Hello HCISD, I'm Art Cavazos, your Superintendent of Schools. Joining me today are the top 10 students from Harlingen High School South. Their placement on the top 10 represents their hard work throughout these past 4 years and their dedication to reaching the goals they've set for themselves. We take this time to chat with them about their experience in our schools and showcase their achievements while providing our future graduates with words of wisdom as they continue to their pursuit of academic excellence. To begin, I'd like to go around the room and ask the students to introduce themselves, name all the HCISD campuses they've attended, and share their plans after high school graduation.
I'm Carlos Torres. I have attended James Bowie Elementary School, Coakley Middle School, the Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy, and recently Harlingen High School South, and I plan to attend the University of Texas at Austin after graduation.
So you're going to be a Longhorn?
Yeah, I'm going to be a Longhorn.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, my name is Tiffany Upel. I attended Dr. Rodriguez Elementary School, Gutierrez Middle School, and Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy, as well as Harlingen High School South, which I am attending at the moment. After graduation, I have two choices of attending college, which are Schreiner University and or St. Mary's University.
Both are great options, so good luck in your decision.
I'm Robert Rodriguez. I went to Jefferson Elementary, Moises Vela Middle School, Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy, and I'm currently a senior at Harlingen High School South. Upon graduation, I plan on attending Baylor University and majoring in chemistry.
What's their sign? Isn't it the...
Sikkim.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So
I'm Vanessa Green. I have attended Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy and Harlingen High School South. I plan to attend Rice University after graduation.
congratulations.
Hello, I'm Jaden Gonzalez. I attended Lamar Elementary, Bella Middle School, Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy, and currently Harlingen High School South. Upon graduation, I will be going to the University of Texas at Austin, Hook'em Horns, majoring in neuroscience.
Good for you.
I'm Ariana Puente. I attended Stewart Place Elementary, Bella Middle School, Dr. Abraham P. Cano, and I currently attend Harlingen High School South. And after graduation, I'm either going to the University of Texas at Austin or St. Edward's University in Austin.
Good
as well.
choices. Good choices.
I'm Lucas Rivas. I went to Stewart Place Elementary. I went to Vela Middle School. I also went to Cano, and then I am now I'm going to Harlingen High School South, and I plan to go to UTSA, and I plan to major in biology.
Great.
My name is Mariel Collada. I currently attend Harlingen High School South, and I am going to the University of Texas at Austin.
Another Hook'em Horns. My gosh. Okay.
My name is Taylor Tice. I went to Coakley Middle School, Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy, and Harlingen High School South, which I'm now attending. And I will be attending the University of Texas at Austin in the fall and majoring in radio, TV, film.
Awesome. Awesome.
My name is Ian De Jesus, and I went to Treasure Hills Elementary, Coakley Middle School, and I'm currently at Cano next, and then I'm currently in High School Harlingen South. After graduation, I'll be going to UTSA, same as Lucas, and be majoring in biology.
Congratulations. That's right. So one thing to remember in these questions, it's not like taking an AP biology test. So don't worry, and you all did awesome in answering the first question. So the next few questions, you actually can take them at whatever order that you feel comfortable, and please honor the time of the other your colleagues. So we realize that being on the top 10, you all are very well accomplished in the academics. Can you share with us, however, what other activities you have been involved in throughout your high school years? And so that's open to anyone who feels comfortable speaking now. All right, then I'll choose one.
I'll go ahead. Yeah, I've been involved since sophomore year, since I first entered Harlingen High School South in UIL, academic UIL events.
Okay.
Math, number sense calculator, social studies, science. I've also been in academic decathlon senior year, and I was also part of the CNA program that our school offers junior year.
That's
So,
congratulations.
yeah.
So you were very involved.
Yes,
You've
I
been
was very involved.
Okay. Anyone else?
I guess I'll go. I've been a member of student council most of my high school career. I am president now, and I've also been in varsity orchestra my entire high school career, and I like to thank HCISD for allowing me that opportunity from starting in middle school. So
Good for you.
I'll go. I play. I like to say I'm proud of being on the tennis team. I'm also part of the student council at Harlingen High School South, the ecology club, and we're building a butterfly garden, which is really awesome. And student council, yeah.
So you all are doing pavers also, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody tried to sell me a paver. And they said, I in the honor of your wife. Why? No, I didn't say that. But anyway. All right, what about you? Yeah.
During my high school years, I was in basketball, and the good thing about being in basketball is that not only I'm working hard in academics, sports also helps me understand that hard work pays off. It's not only the academics part of school that satisfies the person in me. It's just any accomplishments that I make in the sports scene and academics scene, because it makes you realize that you work hard for what you did and you earned.
So it gives you a balance. It actually is educating the whole child, right? And so it's really giving you experiences outside. Anybody else have a unique? Yes.
My most notable activity in my high school career is playing soccer. I've been in varsity soccer since my freshman year. Recently this year, I broke the record for most goals scored in district. Out of Harlingen South, I scored 20 in 13 games, and 35 including scrimmages and tournaments. And we made it to playoffs since 2011. We hadn't made playoffs since 2011. This is our first year making playoffs, and that's one of my most notable achievements.
That's incredible. And I do recall that. You all had a great season. So congratulations. Anyone else?
I'm a part of the Latin Club, and it's non-prevalent to our area. South of San Antonio, we're the only chapter, and we headed to nationals last summer, so I'm pretty proud of our Latin team.
You all have done some amazing work with the Latin team, so congratulations.
Thank you.
So here's your next question, and if you've been in Harlingen, you've seen the billboards go up, right? And so sometimes the kids that have been on the billboard is, my gosh, I didn't know my face was that big and all that kind of stuff, right? And so here's my question. Next week, your top 10 billboard will go up. And so what do you expect to feel when you see yourselves up there that you've made it?
One of our counselors at the school, her name is, she goes by Dr. Paredes. I did have the honor of recently seeing a sort of template on her computer monitor of what the billboard is going to look like. And what struck me was it had very good symmetry. You know, people were flanked on either sides, about equal heights and all of that. And it all looked like it had a lot of synergy. I haven't seen the full-scale thing yet, so I think I'm going to be most stricken by the fact that it's going to be, a large-scale product of what you look like, which I've never.
You've never seen yourself.
I've never witnessed myself on that scale.
If our scoreboard works during graduation, your face will be on the big scoreboard. So, but good observation. Who else?
I feel pretty proud. Once they put it up, I've actually tried to drive up near the billboard and try to take a picture.
I was gonna say.
And also, they mentioned that we can. I think by the end of the next year, when they bring it down, I can probably request to get my face
cut out.
Get a cut out of my face and keep it on my dorm or my apartment.
Yeah, you can take it to your dorm. Look at yourself every day. So who else?
I think one of the most reasons why I strive to be in top 10 is my mom. Every time I go past by, I can't wait to see you up there. Hopefully,
no pressure.
Hopefully you keep on working hard and being good in your studies, and hopefully one day I can see you up there. And that's my biggest honor to my mom and my parents, to honor them and see my mom tear up and.
Sure. Now you're gonna find that your parents are gonna drag you there and say, "Okay, let's take a picture," but you're way up there. But, just let them take the picture. They'll find out that they don't fit in the camera. How about you? You were gonna say something.
I feel like when I go see the billboard, I'm gonna have to have my mom drive, because I'm just gonna be there gawking at it. I won't be able to believe it for a while. Maybe after some pictures taken, because I never thought I'd be able to become top 10. I transferred from SciTech the middle of my sophomore year, and I was already
I came in ranked like 64. So my mom told me, okay, well, you got a long way to top 10. And I would just laugh at her like, Mom, that's far away.
Yep.
that's like impossible. And then I realized like the first quarter of senior year that I was ranked 14, and I was like, oh my goodness, how did this happen? Got a lot of work to do, but it's when I see that picture, it'll be all worth it.
Congratulations. That's great. Who else? You haven't said anything. What do you think you're going to look like? Not look like,
I'm
but
probably just going to look at the billboard and look at my giant face and be like, wow, my face has never been this big before.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Well, you're going to find that other students really, that's when it sets in that you've made it, and that all the hard work has paid off, and there's 10 of you that have made it to the billboard, and so it's a big celebration. And so what you don't want to do is see it from a distance and drive up to it and forget you're driving up to it because you're staring at it and hit it. Okay, right? You don't want to do that. So here's a question that kind of follows up to that. So what is your response? And you talked about 64 to 14 and so forth, the climb. What's your response when people ask how you became part of the top 10? So what do you tell them when they say, how did you become part of the top 10? What's your natural response?
In my opinion, things often come to you whenever you least expect them. So I kind of adopted that sort of mindset ever since childhood. I never really paid attention to this sort of achievements or the rankings or the competition aspect of what was happening. More than anything, I strove for that sort of excellence because I enjoyed a challenge, and I enjoyed seeing progress in what I do. Makes me happy, and it galvanizes me to perform more and better. And adopting that sort of mentality has sort of just helped to cement me in the place without really having to think much about the horse race aspect of it.
So
that's my
people
response.
often describe that as focus on the work.
Yeah,
And
it'll come to you on its own.
If you focus on the work and you make that a goal. Who else? What do you tell people when they say, you're in the top 10? No one else is going to be surprised? None of your friends are going to be surprised? No?
Well, normally when the whole top 10 issue comes up, I'm usually hard on myself, so I don't normally celebrate my victories. It's like the weirdest it's like a phenomenon, really. I work so hard to do something, and it's like someone asks me, how did you do it? And it just happened.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how all this work accumulated this far, but really it's a shock, and you just continue to work like Carlos said, and it pays off.
You know, there's a saying that says leadership is not a destination, right? It's a journey. And so this is part of your journey. You're setting yourself in motion as you go through your life. You can go to college and so forth. And so things will happen. But, you know, it's also wouldn't be fair for people to say, well, the stars aligned for you and that's why you're in the top 10. The reality is you had a lot to do with aligning the stars, because at the end of the day, you committed yourself. You dedicated yourself. You focused on your work, and so you should be very proud of that, and not think that somebody gave you something. You earned it. You've earned the top 10, which means you have a right to stand by the billboard and take a big picture, and you cut off your face. I mean, cut out the face. They give it to you. So the next question is actually a dovetail to the prior one, and so if you could, would you do anything different?
I would probably focus more on time management. I had no idea how important it would be. Middle school was a lot easier, and I didn't really have to worry about so much focusing on my time because most of it was school. Homework was done at school. I can go home and do what I want. But now came high school, and I don't have any time left. So between socializing, extracurricular activities, and academics, it's really hard. So I wish back in middle school I started focusing on time management because it would have been so much easier. I now decided to actually learn to set up my stuff, for example, a day earlier, the night before. I stay up 5 more minutes and then I wake up and I'm already set to go. And to me that was important because time management has saved my life right now.
So let me say it's critical as you move on in your journey. So it's great that you learned it in our school district. So good for you. Anyone else? Would you do anything different?
I believe everything happens for a reason, and you have a path, you have a destined path you're supposed to go on, and those trials and tribulations that you go through and over time, they help you learn and advance from them. and I think I wouldn't change anything I do. I mean, I'm at a good spot right now, and I believe that there's nothing but success in the future for me. So
you're comfortable.
mm.
Good for you. Anyone else?
I'm fairly content with how I've managed so far. I don't think I would
Well,
change
you're the
much.
valedictorian. You better
Yeah.
believe it.
There are a few instances, people don't believe that somebody like the valedictorian can afford to take a nap during class, but every now and then on off occasions there happens to be no work and I would just, just doze off for an hour and a half. I would say that if anything, I would take that hour and a half and devote it some time to the work that I do have pending so that, I'm not rushing at the very last second to get everything done, because this year I've seen a lot of that happening. Not that I don't actually get it done, but I get it done late.
Procrastination
Yeah.
is not good.
Yeah,
right?
Mr.
It's
Sandman's a killer.
It's not good. And you procrastinate a lot, and as you get older, then you get gray hair real quick. That's not me. I'm just giving you an example. All right. Anyone else would do something different? Yes?
I would say that to take a break and enjoy the little things in life. Because when you're studying so much, sometimes life goes by so fast. Next thing you know, 1 week has already passed by and you're already worrying for the next test, for the next quiz, and everything that's going on with school. So just stop and smell the roses.
Very good advice. And actually that sometimes we forget that because we're so task oriented, and so we just focus, and we don't stop and celebrate the great times and the moments of success. Anyone else?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Kind of bouncing off what Tiffany said, so much of my time was spent worrying about school and stressing, and for good reason it got me to where I am today. But I kind of wish that I had taken some time to enjoy the moment more, have more fun. And
You've learned it now, right?
yes.
I agree with what everyone has said so far, that time management is a really important aspect to getting us to where we are today. And I would wish that I had better time management, as Lucas mentioned and Carlos mentioned, to not procrastinate as much and just to take the time to stop and smell the roses through the management of your time and energy spent.
So the important thing is that you recognize that's something you could do different, right? When you don't recognize it and you should do it, it's when it can get a little difficult because you don't learn that along the way. So good observation. So let me ask you, if you were asked 2 or 3 years from now, not 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 years from now, to name a teacher that inspired you, that helped you turn a corner maybe, or to name a teacher who you will remember that truly made a difference in your life, who would that be? So we'll start with our valedictorian.
I know the answer already. I would say that Mr. Mink, he's a U.S. history teacher for juniors at the high school. Mr. Mink has probably influenced me most, actually, in deciding what I want to become as an adult, because prior to having taken his class, I was kind of pinballing around with medical field things and educational things. And then it was once he realized that I actually had a pretty astute mind for historical context and things of that sort, that he recommended I'd actually be a pretty good lawyer. So he was the one who recommended to me the school that I should attend. He was the one who recommended to me the profession that I should pursue. He was also the one who actually gave me source material to study off of. Prior to having taken his class, I didn't have many books of my own, but after a year of taking his class, I have all sorts of books that deal with economic issues, philosophical issues, things like that. So yeah, most definitely I would say Mr. Mink has influenced me. He's a splendid guy.
Good. Thank you for sharing that. How about our salutatorian?
I would say Mr. Pena. He doesn't work at HCISD anymore, but he was a great influence on me during my high school career. I had him for 2 years, and he pointed me in the right direction somewhat. Like, he recommended me some schools, he also helped develop my sense of not book smart, but also street smarts, I guess you can say. Because book smarts aren't everything in this world. You gotta know people, you gotta know how to interact, how to communicate, and all that.
Common sense type things,
Yes.
right?
If I had to pick one teacher, it's currently my chemistry teacher, Mrs. Moore. She has got me ready for, first, like, she influenced me to major in chemistry and follow my pre-med track to eventually become a surgeon. Within her class, like, she gets you ready for AP tests. She gives you rigorous homework. Like, she gives you of course a rigorous workload, but it's just getting you ready for college. And
Sure.
I just see her as like a really influential person in my life, and I thank her for that.
Now, do you want us to show her the video so she can give you an A? Go ahead. No. How about you? Oh, yeah.
I would say my current biology teacher, Mr. Conway, is a teacher that really helps us to transition towards the different life of college and what we need to expect in our college studies, and like studying for his class, doing lab reports, and just preparing us for what is ahead.
Have you done bird banding yet?
We do that this Thursday.
This week?
Yes,
Okay, well, good for you.
I can't think of anyone else, so I'd have to say Mr. Conway as well. He's expanded my mind, not just in biology, but in regular day life. Like, we talk about like what's going on in our world, and he really expanded my mind. He's also verified that I do want to go into like biology in the medical field, and he's just a great teacher to have. He's really prepared me for college. Those lab reports, I'm gonna ace them.
Yeah, that's right. so save them.
I know you guys already heard this, but Mr. Conway as well. It truly is crazy how prepared he gets you for your college life and your life in general. I mean, looking at him the first day in class, I remember I was sitting there and I was looking at him and I said, man, he seems like a strict teacher and he's gonna be no messing around, but I wasn't wrong. And but he also helped me out a lot. I kind of feel like he's a grandpa. He gives good advice to me. I mean,
we'll edit that part. He might not. He's like your brother.
Right? But in being serious, he truly helped me out a lot. Just with the things he says and how he opens my mind, as Jolene said, and he truly makes us aware of every aspect of life.
Great.
It's difficult for me to choose one teacher. I feel like my success has been because of several people, like Mr. Rada, Mr. Everett, Mr. Conway. But I think Mr. Conway probably is certainly unique. You will never have a teacher like Mr. Conway, and I think he's just expanded my mind. Yes, I feel like I'm ready to understand and be more tolerant of other people's opinions that are, even if they're super and like a striking contrast with my own, and I'm ready to see what the world has out there, I guess.
Good for you. Now you know that if you're over here and you have his class, he says, "Why are you going? Where are you going?" Right? Oh no, I know. And then you have to tell him, "Well, it's with the superintendent." All right, go ahead and go. Yeah.
I would have to say Mr. Conway. Everyone's been talking about him, and I met him my junior year when I joined Ecology Club, and ever since then, just being in Ecology Club and knowing him has kind of shaped like my views of environmental issues. It's kind of shaped my passions, and just seeing how dedicated he is to environmental issues has really inspired me and made me think about what I want to do in the future.
So he's the ecology sponsor? He's a sponsor?
Yes, he's a sponsor of Ecology Club.
So he's the one helping with the butterfly garden and the pavers and all that. Oh. He's your teacher of the year too, right?
Yes.
For Harlingen South? I saw that on your marquee. So
I know a lot of people mentioned him already, but yes, Mr. Conway too as well.
Yeah, and be a little more creative. Yeah.
Yes, as Lucas mentioned before, he's still strict and everything. The beginning when I saw him, I felt really intimidated, and I was like, "Is this gonna be one of those teachers where you're gonna have a bad year with?" But no, he treats everyone like family, and he gets to know you personally. There's so many things in Harlingen that I've taken for granted that he enabled me to appreciate, like the environment, the birds, some things that you would consider as something small, something, just in our daily lives, we're so occupied with what we do, school life, sports life, social lives, that we don't look everywhere else, the environment, everything. He makes us more aware, political, environmental, and all the effects that's gonna bring upon us. And he helped me solidify my choice, and also going to the medical field, and I pretty much thank him from that.
Good. Awesome. So here's your next question. What is one memorable experience you're taking with you from your high school years at South? And so think about what jumps in your head, whether it's in class, out of class. What is one thing that you're taking with you as a memorable experience when people say, "Where are you from?" Harlingen, CISD. Well, where is that? Well, let me tell you about South, and let me tell you what we experienced. What would you be sharing?
I have to say that the 5K color run we had last year. This year we're gonna have another one, but I have to say last year I had so much fun, and it was for such a great cause, and I still can't get the paint off my shoes. I mean, it's something I see all the time, and it truly meant a lot to me seeing how many people cared and how they were enjoying themselves, and how so many people are being helped by just people having fun, just running a 5K, getting color thrown on them. I mean, it was a great time.
What was the event for?
It was for autism.
Autism.
Yes.
Awesome. And so that's coming up.
Yes.
So you're going to paint your
29th.
shoes again.
Yes. I expect to see you.
That's
running,
right. I don't have to run fast. I just have to run faster than the slowest person. Right? Because you don't want me embarrassed. Okay. What other memorable experience? I'm sure you've had many.
Well, I headed to nationals in last summer, and I never thought I would go. Well, eventually I would plan to go out of state and vacation once I was settled, but I never thought I would go out of state during like my high school career. And I did. I went to Indiana, Bloomington, and I was accompanied with not just the nation, but with Canada, Australia, Thailand, and I got to meet all sorts of people, and we all competed, and I actually placed among all those really talented students, although I was intimidated, I'm not going to lie. And it was just an amazing experience getting to experience like the plane travel and then getting to a different state and getting to know their people, and it was pretty amazing.
And that was with your Latin club,
It
right?
was.
Awesome. Congratulations. Anyone else?
Going back to what I said earlier about having been involved in the Certified Nurse Assistant program at our school, part of the training there was becoming involved in our local nursing homes and hospital settings. We were supposed to go and essentially operate how we knew how on the residents and to help them with their daily living and things like that. I was, like Ian said with Mr. Conway, it was kind of like one of those daunting moments where you just felt intimidated because it was a new setting. And I just assumed that all of these people were going to be kind of hardened, sour people. But it actually turned out that there were some fairly good people there. I made a couple of good friends. And it kind of enlightened me to the sense that however immortal we may feel early in life, we all return to a fragile, dependent state. So humility and humanity kind of goes a long way because, you know, we want to feel secure. So they appreciated the work that we did, and I can only assume that one of these days when, you know, I'm old too and I'm going to have trouble in my knees and things like that, but I'm going to want somebody to take care of me just like that.
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
Come back when I'm in the nursing home. And just say he was my superintendent. He sat right across from me. Okay, anyone else?
It's hard to, again, pinpoint a certain memorable experience. It feels like these last 4 years have been a blur. But I think applying to colleges, I know I only applied to one. I only applied to University of Texas because I knew
That's the only one that.
that's
Oh
the
no, there's
only
others.
one
There's others.
that I wanted to go to, and it was funny because, okay, I guess I got my school, and then I realized, what am I gonna do? And so, my whole life I've been focusing on discovering that passion. Everyone has that thing where they wake up every day. It's not a job. It's your life, and they enjoy it. So when Mr. Conway took us to the Bird Festival, I wasn't expecting, like, he wanted us to name the paper we were writing it on the best day of my life so far, and I didn't realize it really was going to be the best day of my life so far. I met so many people, bird watchers, that went to South America, that went to the Antarctica, everywhere, and they would just get so excited when they talked about something that seemed like nothing to me. Every person I interviewed, they would be like, I saw the Amazonian kingfisher. And it was just like, yes. I didn't understand, but I wanted that passion. I want something that just wakes you up. And I'm glad that the Bird Festival that Conway took us to inspired me to strive even further to find that something.
That's awesome. That's a great story. Anyone else?
One memorable experience that I recently done was with Science Day with Harlingen South with all the science teachers. I was inside the mini gym with the booth. It was called the All-Star Challenge. That was probably one of the most talkative days I ever had, and I kept the kids on track, and we were discussing questions about science and everything, preparing them for the STAR test, and the excitement and the competition that they had in their eyes was just invigorating.
So that was elementary students, right?
Yes,
that you all
elementary
hosted.
school.
They said it was an
Yes.
amazing event. So you were
Yes.
part of that.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
good
sir.
for you. So that's all ideas and experiences of giving back. And so that's when your heart is motivated as well as your mind. And so those are things that's why you remember those memorable experiences. So here's an opportunity to give back. And so oftentimes you'll hear me say that, if you're going to look down at someone, it's to extend your hand to pick them up, right? And so what advice would you give to incoming freshmen to high school? What advice would you give now looking back you wish somebody had given you that advice?
Well, I ever since like freshman year, I kind of went in like, I wanted to see myself on the top 10 billboard. I wanted to see myself in the top 10. I wanted to be successful. So I mean, I started give them like just study hard, work hard. Don't feel peer pressured by your friends when they say, oh, you're a nerd. All you do is study. Like when you're at lunch, sometimes you have to do homework.
That's right.
And sometimes when they say, oh, let's go out, oh, I can't have homework. You have to be diligent in your work and not let other people influence you negatively, but surround yourself with positive people and just work hard and study. And
if they keep telling you, no, you can go, you say, one day you're going to work for me.
So, what I wish I would know, freshman year was different than when we got to South. It is a bit different, and I think their mentality needs to somewhat adjust rather quickly going into South. It is different than Kano. Also, I think they should know that it starts sophomore year. I know like sophomore year, I still have however many years to senior year, but it starts the day you walk in, and it's a lot of late nights and it's a lot of studying, but it will be worth it. And even though you didn't rank at Kano in the top 10%, it still is possible as long as you put in that work the moment you step into South.
Yeah, because you don't realize you're splitting onto two campuses, right? And so you may be in the top 10. Anyone else? What advice would you give incoming freshmen if they listen to you? Carlos?
I would say that coming in as a freshman, and this kind of advice can just apply to your general life in any case, don't suppose less of yourself, because in your mind, you may very well be the most important person in your lifetime. For example, if you take all 10 of us together, as laudable as our achievements are, and they're certainly worthy of merit, who's to say that we are going to be the people who change the world, Right. Just because you are not in the top 10 or in a certain parameter of students does not mean that you cannot be a very important person. You may very well be the person who cures cancer or discovers the secrets of the universe or something of that sort. So do not be discouraged by numerical grades. Numerical grades don't really mean much, It's just hypothetically, your worth transcends that of whatever statistics a person can assign you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Anyone else? Incoming freshmen, what would you tell them?
I was going to mention to use the resources that are around you. Your teachers, ask them questions. They want to help you. Fellow students, they want to help you, and just to use what is around you and the resources that we are offered from our parents and even upperclassmen, just to...
You're not in it alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just get some assistance and so forth. Anyone else? How many of you have brothers and sisters that are coming up in the system that... Anybody? Yeah. So you're not going to give them your secret? You're just going to figure it out? I had to figure it out? Is that do you have brothers and sisters too?
Yep.
Okay. So what would you tell an incoming freshman?
Basically, just take everything seriously, but don't feel bad if you get a B on a test. Just take what comes to you, do the best you can, and hopefully you will get where you want to go.
So one of the things that kids learn early on, especially, as they go in their journey, is the value of persistence, right? And so the easiest thing to do is to give up, right? And so who's going to persist beyond any adversity that may come in front of you. And so persistence is actually more important than how smart you are. It's how resolved will you be to reach the goal that you have set for yourself. And so oftentimes, you hear people say, well, that kid went off to college and then we don't know what happened. And so persistence is finish what you start. And so that's what you all have done. You've persisted, and look where you are now, right? You finished what you started. You wanted to be in the top 10, and you got in the top 10 over there in 64, right? What was it? I'm not going to forget that. Okay, so here's the next question. Name one thing that you learned in high school that's going to make you a better college student, aside from your labs at AP biology. Right? So what's one thing you learned in the 3 years in high school that you say, this is going to help me in college because I figured it out?
I would like to say, as you were saying earlier, the value of determination really cannot be underestimated, because once it became that I was growing older and I was coming closer to the end of my high school career, it became more of a reality what situation I was in. And I at some point, I determined that, well, I'm here now, I'm top of my class, I'm just going to stay that way to the very end. And I would like to say that I learned that my determination to achieve some goal is an extremely potent factor. I've read all sorts of materials of people who agree with me on this. One of my favorites is from one of my historical idols, Abraham Lincoln. In one of his lectures to his law students, he once told them that if you really truly want to become a lawyer, you have to first resolutely determine that you're going to be a lawyer, and the battle is already halfway done, or something to that extent. And that sort of maxim, I think, is a very important one, because it tells you that no matter the adversities that you may face, so long as you have that intrinsic resolve to succeed, you've already gone a step ahead of your competitors.
You're halfway there.
Yeah.
And now one of my favorite books, and we do this book read, is Lincoln on Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually a quick read, but it gives you the leadership skills. He was a president during one of the most difficult times in the existence of our country.
Yes.
There was civil war at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's internal fighting rather than external fighting.
Yes.
And so there was a lot that he had to get done during that time. And he was at the brink of losing this country.
Yes.
And so staying resolved, determination, this is what I'm going to do, was probably some of his cornerstone pieces in his leadership. So great observation. Okay, so let me ask you again. So what's one thing you learned that you in high school that's going to help you in college? And that's a great one. Determination, the value of that.
I think another thing could be understanding what to be determined for. I'm blessed to have my parents continue to push me and towards knowing that education is important, and it's very well what leads people to become important people. And I think once you understand that what you are fighting for is worth it, everything else becomes almost effortless. And you learn these things. You learn how to read Up All Night, 1984, Jane Eyre, all the books.
Read all that.
You have to critically analyze, or all of the hours spent at Starbucks or so. Everything becomes good once you understand what you appreciate. And I think that will help me in college, is finding something and then being determined will be easy.
It'll be easy to follow a roadmap when you know where you're going, right? You talked about procrastination. I mean, being time management. Is that what you learned in
Yes.
high school? Get your time in order?
Yes. I can't stress how much it truly benefits you if you can understand how to manage your time correctly, because this year, as everybody already said, it was Conway Labs. You're up there making 24-page lab reports on something that you already lost track of. I mean, it's and we're talking about labs that last, sometimes 2 days, and you have a month to turn it in, and you have to manage your time. Okay, are you going to finish it all the first day? Are you going to space it out? Are you going to finish it all in the hour before it's due? So it's something you pick up, and it truly is beneficial that I learned this year going into college.
And you don't dare ask, can I have more time?
No.
Ian, what did you learn in high school that other than you're a great basketball player? No, isn't that what you said?
learning from my failures. It's not really the most comfortable thing that you'd associate what you've learned in high school. Failure is not really a good feeling that there'll be times where I upset myself. Oh, why couldn't I have done this other thing instead of that? And I've been starting to realize as I go through my years in high school that failures are they're a good thing. They're part of life, and failures allow you to see what you could have done better and what you will be able to do better the next time the opportunity comes. And I think there was a saying that don't see failures as something that will define you in the future. See it as things that what not to do. And
that you're going to learn from, right?
So you can learn from, yes.
So the biggest failure is not trying, right? And that's the biggest failure. The other thing to remember is that if you're not trying, then that in itself is failing to try, right? And so you learn a lot from whether you're successful or not successful, and that's where persistence comes from. That's where perseverance and staying resolved, determination, and so forth. And at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself, right? And so you have to determine, what is it that I want? And as soon as you find your passion, you have to realize that you're going to work for 40 years of your life. So my greatest hope as your superintendent is that you find what you really love, because you'll have the best 40 years of your life when you're employed. If you don't find what you love, then you're going to have difficulties, right? You're going to have challenges, stress, and so forth. Not that my job is not stressful, but I knew this is the space I wanted to be. Now, had you asked me in high school, I don't even remember when I was in high school, but I probably would not have told you, right? So don't forget that, it's important that you realize time is going to fly. I mean, you all are our legacy class from Kano Academy. That's 4 years ago that we opened that campus, and you would think that we opened it last year. And so you're our legacy class. You're that class that's going to mark that moment in time. And so every moment in time becomes a movement, right? And so this is a movement for the Kano Academy legacy. So here's your next question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And so how old are you, Carlos?
I'm 18.
18. So 28 years from now, you're going to be 28 years old, right? So think about that. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? You're sitting on a couch like this and somebody's asking you questions, right? And so what you don't want to be is that person that says, I could have done this, I would have done this, I should have done this, right? No regrets. You go full force. So 10 years from now, valedictorian, you're going to be coming back to your class year reunion and you're going to say, what?
Well,
I made it. Oh,
I'm fortunate enough to have actually pondered this sort of thing well enough that I kind of sort of already know precisely what's going to be happening within the next decade or so. I suspect that when I'm 28, one of my aspirations is to become a lawyer, as I think has already become obvious. I've spoken of lawyers a lot.
And if I knew one, don't forget.
Yeah. And, well, after my college undergraduate education is complete at UT Austin, I'm going to the law school there for 3 years. So that'll be in about 7 years' time. After I have passed all of my prerequisites and am finally certified as a lawyer by the board for the state of Texas, I'm going to enter myself into this program in the Marine Corps known as the Judge Advocate General program.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially a program that teaches Marine Corps soldiers to become lawyers for the military. And the reason that I want to become involved in this is because I recognize that one of the toughest and most daunting things that ever crosses somebody's mind straight out of college is how they're going to obtain a job, or whether or not they're going to obtain a job. This is one of those easy outlets. If so to speak, I'll come straight out, they'll accept me, they'll teach me some valuable concepts, both in legal ethics, legal proceedings, and also instill me with a sort of discipline that only a military branch can instill you with. Coming out of that, 5 years or more as a Marine Corps JAG, I'm probably going to either find employment as a private lawyer, or perhaps I'm going to enter a firm. But more than anything, in the long run, 30, 40 years from now, I I truly do want to become involved in politics and public service to some extent. I don't know exactly how or what is going to occur in 34 years' time, but I have that set on my calendar.
Good for you.
Yeah.
10 years from now.
10 years from now, I hope to be part of a firm as well. I also want to strive to become a lawyer as well. Hopefully have an undergraduate degree, but we'll see. As the future can always throw something in
Sure.
it. For all we know, I could be going into a different path. That happened to my father. He wanted to be an actor, but now he's a service repairman. So life will take you onto the path that you are destined for.
So, what if you're trying on the opposite sides of the case and you're going to say, hey, don't forget me? No, you're not going to tell him. Or you're going to beat him?
I beat him.
Oh, you're gonna
It's an adversary process.
That's an adversary
Yeah.
process. Yes, sir. Okay.
Oh,
What about
that's
you? So-
Oh, my uncle is a colorectal surgeon here in Edinburgh, Texas. He has his own practice, and that's where like most of my inspiration came from too. So hopefully I'll be like finishing my residency by then, and hopefully coming back here to the Valley and helping the community that I grew up and got raised in, and hopefully becoming a partner with him in his practice and eventually taking over once he retires.
Good for you. So, those people that didn't talk to you in high school, they're going to say, oh, you made it. So, go ahead.
Similar to Robert, my father is a gastroenterologist, and I plan to pursue medicine and become a physician. So within 10 years, I would be in residency for whichever specialty I choose.
That's awesome. 10 years from now,
10
still in the
years
Latin
from
club. No, or giving back to the Latin club at South. No, she says no. Go ahead.
Hopefully by then I'll be established in my career, which is a certified physician assistant, which would take 6 years, so I'd have 4 years. But I do want to do some outside work, and I do want to help underdeveloped countries, which I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm going to figure out a way to do.
I'm sure you will figure it out. 10 years from now.
I see myself also finishing my residency program, and I also see myself, like Robert, coming back to the Valley or helping any underprivileged countries with medical help.
Good for you.
I see myself, if I'm 28, I'll be at Austin. I think I'll live in an apartment, probably in some kind of computer science thing. Technology is crazy, and I just want to
That's right.
jump on board on that. And yeah, I think that's what I'll be doing.
Awesome.
In 10 years, I hope to be living abroad, maybe in Europe or Asia, and working as a filmmaker or production assistant or something at Vice Media, working on documentaries, feature films, things of that nature.
And enjoying the journey, right? You
Mhm.
said you're going to enjoy it. Ian, what about 10 years? You just have the cutout of your face still, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully,
That's
yes.
right. You can save it.
Big portrait.
That's
in the
right.
house.
So 10 years from now.
10 years from now, I hope to become also a physician. My mom was a nurse, and she's also one of the people who encouraged me to go to the medical field. And coming from a third world country of Philippines, technology and healthcare isn't something that you consider first class. And I would like to help my home country also, and other countries, probably most predominantly from the Red Cross. I would like to join their program where I could help out people from all over the world, and after all of that, come back here in the Valley, help the people where I grew up most of my life also, and contribute back for everything this Valley has given me.
So it warms my heart as your superintendent of schools to know that we're with a very giving class, and you all are. It's important to give back, and so it's important to stop long enough to celebrate the successes, reflect on where you may have fallen short, but also to give back, because there were people that helped you along the way. And so when I say you extend your hand to pick someone else up, that's what makes us a great country. That's what makes us a great community, a great school district. And so my biggest hope also is that you reach those dreams that you have set for yourself, because at the end of the day, it's your journey and it's your life, and I want you to get the very best. I want you to be in the front of the line of opportunities, not in the back of the line, and only you can make that happen. So with that in mind, I will also say that this is your opportunity to do a little reflecting. And I want to give you an opportunity to give a shout out and thank someone for his or her contribution to your success. So, one of the things that's hardest for us that are task oriented, that means we live with a list and we check things off and say, okay, I did this, I did that, and so forth, is to stop and thank those that have helped us along the way. And so you're going to get a signal as to what camera you look into. And so this is your chance to really look into the camera and thank that someone that has helped you or has contributed to your success up to this point in your journey. So we're going to start with you, Charlotte. So this is your opportunity, and it's that camera there.
Most unsurprisingly, I would like to give a shout out to my two parents. My dear parents have come from a lineage of low-income families, underprivileged persons. They've had to endure a host of cruxes over their entire lifetimes, and throughout the entire ordeal of that, they have nurtured me to become the sort of person that I am now, and I hold no false pretenses of how difficult that must have been. So, I would like to extend my gratitude to my two parents. I have also spoken at length of certain teachers so devoted to their line of work that they would extend their own hand in assistance of a young child like myself. Mr. Mink, my history teacher, Mr. Donnelly, my biology teacher, Mr. Rada, my calculus teacher, among a few others, such as Mr. De La Rosa, my government teacher, and Mr. Pena also, whom I knew for a short amount of time before he left, unfortunately. All of them were a sort of person who really cared for their line of work to such an extent that some other teachers didn't. They stood out because they were unique in that sense, and they truly did inspire me to focus on certain aspects of my life and to pursue certain endeavors. So all of those people that I have just mentioned, I think, deserve praise.
Thank you.
Okay. I would like to give thanks to my mother and my father for helping me get on through high school and continuing to achieve what I am able to achieve. I would also like to give thanks to the rest of my family and to my teachers that I have known for many years through elementary, middle school, and high school. And I also want to give thanks to my cousin Cassandra for being a role model and helping me find a way to continue on for this quest of knowledge.
Good for you.
First and foremost, I want to give thanks to God for giving me the opportunity to even be here and give me life. And next, I want to give my thanks to my parents for always pushing me to be the best, for all the guidance and support they've given me, from waking up in the morning, early mornings, to going to my soccer games, to late at night, picking me up, dropping me off from practice. I just want to give thanks to you, and then without you, I wouldn't be here where I am today, and all honor goes to you. I also want to give thanks to all my teachers that I've had since elementary years, preschool, middle school, and high school, and all the administration, all the faculty that feeds us every day, that are behind the scenes, that never get the credit or the acknowledgement they deserve. And all my family, my uncle, my aunt, my grandma. My grandma is a very big part of my life, and she's always pushed me to be the best person I could be, and I want to thank her for that.
Good for you.
I'd like to thank my parents for always being there and encouraging me and pushing me to do my best in everything that I do. I would also like to thank God and my church family for always being there, encouraging me continually throughout these years. I'd also like to thank my teachers and my friends for being supportive of everything that I do.
So I also grew up with difficult circumstances, and I would never see myself without my mom, especially my mom, and my sisters and my brother. So I think it's important to tell her muchas gracias por todo lo que me has hecho, and I'm really appreciative for her. And my sister for driving me everywhere, to every volunteer opportunity I had to go to. I want to thank my teachers, Mr. Conway, Mr. Rada, Mrs. Rogers, Mrs. Garza. Thank you for shaping me for who I am today. I want to thank the district for giving me all the opportunities, all those great opportunities, straight out the door. So thank you to the district.
I would like to thank my mom and my aunt who have pushed me to become the best I could possibly be. Without you guys, I wouldn't be standing here. Coming from Paraguay, having a language barrier, it's been difficult, but you guys have stuck by my side and I've always been there. I would also like to thank the rest of my friends and my family because you guys have truly made my life easier and have blessed me with such great support. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my parents. They're supportive, and I don't think I would ever be. I cannot stress how much I rely on you, and you have instilled values of determination, and you continue to inspire me every day. And I'd like to thank my older sister. She's my role model, and I am so glad for showing me the way and helping me throughout every tough situation. I'd like to thank my younger sister, Grace, for being with me when times are tough. I'd like to thank all my friends, all my teachers, even my music teacher, Miss LeBeau, and thank you so much. Forever indebted to you.
I would like to thank my parents for always supporting me and always sticking with me through everything that I've done, everything that I've wanted to achieve and accomplish. I'd like to thank my friends for always being there, supporting me, helping me whenever I'm down. And yeah, that's about it.
First of all, I want to thank God also for giving me all these talents and blessing me with all my family in the condition that I'm in, which helped me get through all of this. And also my parents, most of all, coming from the Philippines, they lived with in poverty. Dirt floors, run down houses and everything, living with 9 other siblings. I don't know how my parents made it through all of this, and they show me what hard work can do. And it's just something, they're one of the greatest influencers of my life. As such, also my teachers, such as Mr. Conway, Mr. Mink, Mr. Rada, Mr. Mata, Miss Mata. It might just be names that I blurred out, but those are the teachers who went the extra mile and extended their hands to me. Someone who's just nothing, just a name out in the distance, and they reached out and helped me become who I am and elevated me to my position as of now. And I'm forever thankful for all the support and the teachings that they gave me, which allowed me to succeed and become and put me where I am today. Thank you.
I'd first off like to thank my parents, of course. They're everything. I couldn't be anywhere without them. And of course my sister, she's the reason I've became top 10. She was 13 and I wanted the competition, so I'd like to thank her a lot.
Great shout out. Our country and our world are in great hands. And so I ask that you use your talents, what you've learned in Harlingen CISD, walk with your head up high, be proud of where you're graduating from, always protect your name because it'll define you. And so that translates into always do the right thing even if there's no adult around. You are the one responsible for protecting your name. It will define you. And protect the HCISD brand by doing great things and conquering the world. I have the greatest hopes for you. I'm super proud of you, and I think you're going to do some amazing things beyond this point. And so, congratulations. You've earned it. You're the top 10 students, and when the billboard is up, take a moment to celebrate. And so if your mom drags you there, you go with a big smile, even if you don't want to. And don't say, I'm embarrassed. Don't make me stand here. Because people are going to honk and what are they doing and so forth. And so be happy and enjoy the moment. Your parents have earned that moment, and you've given them that moment. You've given them appreciation, and so I'm super proud of you. Continue to do great work and protect your name and protect the Hawk brand as well. There are Hawks all over the world making some great contributions, and you're just going to add to that. So go forth and conquer. Congratulations. Give yourselves a hand. Yay! Some of you didn't even clap for yourselves.